Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mangsa, and just the other day I got a very interesting message in my inbox at Advanced Source by Web, which read the following. I like your videos. I'm a professor at the London School of Economics. If you think you'd make good content to have a video of a game challenged by a professor, I'd be honored. You could suggest whatever parameters you think are best for content. I'm not offended if you aren't interested. Michael. What a polite gentleman. So it's not every day you get challenged by a professor, so of course I had to accept. I told him he could decide the map and the matchup, and just invite me, I'd play him in any kind of format. And he decided to challenge me on the map Darkling Woods. This is of course a map that I like a lot, because it's mixed base. This is my jam. Mixed base maps are some of my favorite in Advanced Wars, and this is a map that's currently in the Global League pool, and it's also been used in several tournaments, so I was very confident when I saw this map. It's at least not something I haven't played before. Now, I decided to not check out this guy's profile prior to playing him. I didn't want to see his MMR. I didn't want to see his favorite CO picks or anything like that. I wanted it to be a complete mystery, so I went into this match 100% blind, not knowing what to expect. Now, I think we can all agree that in this day and age, being a professor doesn't automatically make you a smart person. We've seen a lot of dumb professors on the internet in the past like 10 or 15 years. But not usually economics professors. That's actually something that does require a bit of brain power. So knowing that this guy was a professor in economics, I knew that he at the very least wasn't a stupid guy. So I definitely went into this match primed and ready. I didn't take this guy lightly. So yeah, let's take a look at the COs that we decided to pick. So he decided to go with Kindle. Kindle is or has recently, not recently, but somewhat recently been moved into Tier 2. She used to be Tier 3 on Standard, but they moved her down to Tier 2. At least on this map, she's certainly Tier 2, because Kindle is pretty strong in mixed-base maps because of her ability to interrupt several captures at once. On mixed-base maps, there's a lot of captures going on, a lot of battles fighting on multiple fronts, lots of contested properties, so Urban Blight becomes very strong as a result. And definitely don't sleep on her superpower either. High Society got buffed, and it's actually pretty terrifying now. It takes into account labs, bases, comm towers. It didn't used to do that, but it does now. So she can pack quite a punch with High Society on maps with a lot of properties on. Now I decided to go with Max. I was contemplating Olaf. Actually, I don't know if Olaf was available on this map for Tier 2. I don't remember. I think I mean, it is a mixed-base map, so Olaf is pretty strong, but movement is also incredibly powerful on Darkling Woods. But there are also some avenues of artillery play on this map, so by picking Max, you definitely are you are cocking yourself a little bit in that regard, but I just think Max's pushes in mixed-base formats are just too good, so I decided to go with him. So yeah. This map is very cool. It has like these comm towers which can be snatched back and forth with transport copters. It has a lot of terrain, lots of mountains. I actually think Glash is considered Tier 2 on this map. That's how heavily terrained it is. Lots of rivers. Very difficult to find good attacks on this map, I find. But your bases are also kind of exposed. It's more exposed than you might think. Like these two bases right here can be very easily swapped if you're not careful. Because red player right here, for example, can build units and just do a pincer attack on both sides, and if you're not careful, you'll lose the base right here. Now, there's no HQs on this map, so the labs will substitute HQs. Lab captures, I don't think, are super common, because you do have to capture 2 labs, but it is something you have to be a little bit careful about. So, and yeah, there's just so many fronts on this map. Like, you have a front here, 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 here. This is a crazy map. This is one of my favorite mixed-base maps in the pool at the moment. I think it creates incredibly entertaining games. I don't think I've ever seen a map on Darkling Woods, or Darkling Woods? Yeah, it's Darkling Woods. I thought it was Darkwood there for a moment. I don't think I've ever seen a map on, or a match on Darkling Woods actually going to a stall, which is really nice. And you also, of course, have airports, which makes Max a lot better, because his battlecopters are just incredible, right? So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let us see how I'm able to match up against the college professor. This is going to be a pretty cool map, I think. So let's get started. So I'm just going to call him the professor. And I know his name is Geminer, but I'm just going to call him the professor. So the professor here is in the black hole trunks, and I am, of course, demonstrating the proud colors of Orange Star as Max right here. So the first, the opening of Darkling Woods is of course pretty standard. You just go for the neutral basis. But the capture phase of this map is a bit more complicated, I find, because there's a lot of different ways that you can go here. Lots of properties in every direction. This seems to be the case with mixed-based maps. Like, there's just a lot of properties that you can capture. And I gotta be honest, I could have probably looked up some high-level games and found like the perfect capture, route, but I just kind of decided to wing it. So my opponent here, the professor, he opens up T-Copter. And so I immediately know what he's going for here. I've seen this before. It is not uncommon to open T-Copter on Darkling Woods. So what he's going to try and do here, and this happened in my tournament, is he's going to try and get both comp towers. So this comp tower is a little easier for me to get because it's closer to my position, but my opponent has an airport, and with the T-Copter, he can actually get this very quickly. As you can see, he can go with the infantry, load it off right here, and grab the comp tower. And he'll get this one too, because it's closer to his location. Now, I can do the same thing. I can try and grab it. So, when I saw him open T-Copter, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like, not many, like, it's not a safe opener, if that makes sense. Like, it's a risky opener, because I can just not punish him with recons and tanks. So, I already like this game. I already like this guy's playstyle. He's kind of willing to take risky openers, which I really like. So I just continue my capture phase right here, and I decide to handshake on the T-Copter. I'm like, okay, you want to go T-Copter? I go T-Copter. I take this comp tower, you take this comp tower. Games are more fun with T-Copter. So I think whenever your opponent opens T-Copter, instead of trying to punish him for it, I think it's more fun to just handshake on it and just open up a T-Copter yourself. Because with that T-Copter, you can do a lot of cool things. And you can use it as a blocker, you can use it to get properties you otherwise wouldn't be able to get. A lot of cool things you can do with T-Copters. So, immediately, he decides to go for the comp tower, which is no surprise there. And he opens artillery. So, already I like this guy's playstyle a lot. He's playing a really cool game. Like, he isn't just spamming tanks, which honestly is very viable in mixed-based formats. He's going artillery, and I like the position of his artillery too, because if you really look at it, like, this artillery can be nestled very safely here, and it can guard a bunch of different contested properties. Like, he puts it here, puts some units around it, boom, it's going to be very hard for me to get these properties right now. So I was like, okay, this guy's pretty smart. Why did I do that? Interesting. Why didn't I just put it here? Or here? Oh, okay. I was like, okay, so I think the reason I did this, so this may seem like a bit of a weird move, right? Because this means I won't get the comp tower in two turns, but I think the reason why I didn't move the T-Copter up here is because I think like a city boosted infantry from Kindle. I think a city boosted thing from Kindle, that's like 50 damage, and then a planes. No, actually, she wouldn't be able to kill my transport copter. Nah. Kindle would leave it at like 2 HP, so yeah, I mean, I think the idea was I wanted to deny him from getting the city, and I didn't want him to take a big shot at my T-Copter, so I delayed my own comp tower for a month, or for a day. I think that's the idea here. I think I was a little bit too scared, maybe, because he wouldn't be able to shoot it down, but I guess I wanted to kind of conserve its HP a little bit. So yeah, that's why I did that. Kind of weird, but maybe not the greatest move, but it seemed right at the moment. But I do actually decide to take a shot at his T-Copter because, you know, like, just taking a shot at it means it's going to be a little easier to destroy it later down the line if he tries to use it as a block, so I think that's fine. So, he decides to go for the comp tower. He already captures his other comp tower, so he's going to have 2 comp towers really off the bat here, and this is what I was talking about with this artillery. It's actually pretty good. It denies me from taking this city right here, so he's clearly thinking ahead. And he builds a anti-air. I guess I did build a battlecopter, so the anti-air does make sense. But what's so annoying about battlecopters on mixed-based maps and anti-air is that, you know, I build the battlecopter, he responds with the anti-air, and then the battlecopter can just go elsewhere, and the anti-air is kind of just stuck there. So I find that on mixed base maps, it's sometimes better to answer a battlecopter with a battlecopter of your own, because that can follow the battlecopter more easily. Of course, I am max, and I get extra range on my battlecopters during power, so probably makes sense building an anti-air, but I kind of find that in mixed base maps, you often have to build 2 anti-air to respond to a single battlecopter, which is so annoying. But here, I do decide to... I don't think I necessarily needed to do this. This is kind of sloppy play by me. Like, I could have just moved it into the mountains, but then he could have interrupted it, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought I was being clever here, but I don't really think I was. So, send my battlecopter south to get away from the anti-air. And then I go for the comm tower. Now, he can definitely move his artillery down here and destroy the infantry, but he won't be able to interrupt unless he, like, interrupts himself. He could try and go for it, though. Denying comm towers with Max, or when you're playing against Max, can be nice, because Max gets terrifying when he gets, like, 2 comm towers. His firepower rises so high, it's impossible to wall him off. So, trying to deny that comm tower, at least for a little bit, might not be such a bad idea, honestly. And I build a tank and infantry. I'm going to try to put some pressure on this anti-air right here. So, my opponent... The professor has now captured the comm tower. And let's see what he decides to do next. He builds another battlecopter, which is smart. And yeah, look at that. He is going to try and deny this comm tower. He could have, honestly, he could have put the artillery here to get the city boosts. I don't really know why he didn't do that. Maybe he also wanted to guard from here. I'm not really sure. So day 6 rolls in. I decide to move my tank up here, take a free shot at the infantry. I capture the comm tower. Finishes capturing a lot of other properties. And my battlecopter is just going to go and, like, eat up a few free infantry in the center right here. I'll take him when I can get him. And I decide to kill the infantry, because why not? If he wants to move over here with the anti-air, I'll just shoot him back. I don't care if the anti-air is on a city. It won't really matter that much to me. Let's see what the professor does now. He moves out, he gets a free shot, but I think maybe there's an avenue for... I might be able to surround the battlecopter now. And he's now pressuring my comm tower. I still think this artillery could... Actually, you know what? Maybe he placed it here so that the tank wouldn't be in range of it next turn. Could be. Because, like, a city-boosted artillery for Kindle is terrifying, man. He builds a mech. I like mechs on Darkling Wood. They're very good. Place them in these mountains right here. They can guard your vehicles. Very cheap, cost-effective. Kindle, of course, doesn't have any movement bonuses to those mechs, but neither do I as Max, so I think that's fair. So he's not really using the T-Copter for anything right now. Like, I think it's just been moving around. Yeah, I'm just checking its path. Yeah, it started here. Then he moved it up here. And then he moved it over here. Yeah, I'm not really liking what he's doing with it. Like, he's not really utilizing the T-Copter, but maybe what is there really to do with it, I guess? I mean, at this point, it's just a glorified blocker. It's not like I'm utilizing my own T-Copter in any way either. But here, he does make a big mistake, I think. He should have moved this infantry down. He put his infantry in range of my infantry. And this is actually really bad, because this means his comm tower is going to get threatened. So if he had just kept this infantry on the comm tower, it would have been very hard for me to actually dislodge it, because that infantry on top of the comm tower has like 40% extra firepower. Actually, more like 60%, because he has 2 comm towers. So, and I have to attack from the river, so I mean, just look how hopeless this is. Like, let's see if he's actually on a comm tower here, and I have to attack from the river. Look at this. I take as much damage as I deal. It's going to be very hard for me, and if his power is up, boom, like he'll absolutely annihilate me, right? So I don't know why he moved the infantry into the river. It was kind of a weird move, but it allows me to basically get a great shot at him, and now this comm tower is actually being threatened. So a bit of a oopsie, I think, here from Mr. Professor. Maybe he didn't have his morning coffee yet. I don't know. So here, because I'm playing Kindle, it's very easy for me to stay out of this mech's range, because it'll never be boosted. I also get a shot here at this artillery. And, you know, my battlecopter just continues to pick up free infantry here. I don't think I attempt to surround this. I could have tried, I guess, but I don't think it would have worked. And I move my T-Copter back. It is kind of hard to actually get usage out of these T-Copters, because the map is so narrow and there's, like, so much going on. He picks up a bunch of infantry this turn, and yeah, that's exciting. It's not that his battlecopter got surrounded. My battlecopter actually got surrounded, so I was like, oh, that was a sloppy move by me. I'm just going to lose that battlecopter now. Because he can attack with his own battlecopter from the city and one-shot it. So he doesn't even need to build an anti-air, he can just kill it with a battlecopter. So I was like, oh, that is a really bad move on my part. So I was like, okay, this professor knows how to play, actually. It's pretty good play. And here, this artillery is just showing, like, it's doing great work here. This is a great position for it. Like, it's guarding several key locations. It's going to make it hard for me to get these two cities and this city. He's playing really well. So, yeah, and I don't know. This infantry is just dead now. I think he should have probably moved it onto the tower. I don't know if it would have made a big difference. Or maybe he could have moved it into the mountain. It probably wouldn't have made a difference either way. But yeah, the problem is right now, this comm tower is falling right now. He has no infantry in range. He moved this battlecopter away. He could have moved this battlecopter south to deny this comm tower. But now, as it stands right now, even with Urban Blight, he's going to lose this comm tower in like 4 days. So that's really bad. When I saw this, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go capture it right now. And even with an Urban Blight, I'm going to get it in 3 turns. There's nothing you can do. He can't even send his battlecopter south because I can just block it. So, yeah, I was really happy about this. That means I'm going to have a comm tower advantage as max, which is really, really scary. So, even though he's playing really well right now, I know that with this comm tower flipping, all I need to do is just hold out. Because at some point, like, if you are max and you have a 2 comm tower advantage over your opponent, your powers become so scary, man. Like, you get grim tier firepower and extra movement. It's so hard to survive that. So I think, honestly, this was a game-changing move by the professor. Like, throwing away this infantry was this was a really big mistake, I think. A little bit of homework for you there, Mr. Professor. Don't do that again. So, but, you know, I also got taken to school right there because I just lost the battlecopter for nothing. So that was, that was a really good move by him. Being behind a battlecopter on mixed-base maps is certainly not fun. And he's also picking up a lot of free infantry right here, so I'm kind of getting my ass kicked this turn. Like, I'm losing a lot of infantry. So I'm starting to sweat a little bit here. Like, even though I know I'm going to get a comm tower, if I lose all my infantry, this is not going to go so well for me. So I was starting to sweat a little bit here. And, it's a pretty busy map. You can build a lot of units every turn. So you can kind of catch up in unit count if you play well. But man, still, it is... I'm starting to feel the pressure here. But I get a nice little pickup here with my battlecopter. And I tried to kill the T-copter, but I just barely failed. I don't think I could have gotten it with good luck, but it was worth a shot. So here, I'm just trying to pick up as many infantry as I can. I know I'm going to get an Urban Blight next turn, but it won't really affect this capture right here down in the south. And I used the T-copter just to try and deny getting him in the city. And day 10 rolls in, and I have a big income advantage right now, but that's about to change very soon, because he's about to get this property here on 11-0. He might get this one at some point at 114. There's a lot of property. This property is currently hanging right now at 106. So there's properties that he can pick up. He might even get this one at 1400. So, and he pops his Urban Blight, and it's an okay Urban Blight. I mean, it doesn't really interrupt any captures for me, which is kind of what you want. But it does leave a lot of properties open for him, like this one over here at 1202. So I may have an income advantage right now, but it won't last forever. And he continues to pick up a lot of infantry. I'm actually kind of starting to lose on unit count right now. And he has to pull away a little bit here due to my anti-air. He only really has, he has tanks in the area, but he has to take care of his battlecopters. So we're on turn 10 right now, and I get my comm tower. And this is a good feeling as max right here to have 3 comm towers. I mean, just look how hard those tanks starts hitting with 3 comm towers. I mean, this is just brutal. You get a power, you know. You get a superpower. It's kind of disgusting, right? So at this point, I have one objective, and that's to get a max blast. So what I do is I apply something that I like to call the Constrictor Snake tactic. The Constrictor Snake tactic is something you can do if you have movement bonuses and your opponent does not. And what you do basically is you place your units just outside range of your opponent and you build up. Now, if they move in and try to attack you, you have to be careful. You have to position your units correctly. If they try to attack you, you smash back with a superpower. And then what you do actually is you try and stall the game out and try to build up a lot of units. Because, of course, the more units we have on each side, the more powerful my Max Blast becomes. And he will not get his power again until I get my Max Blast, unless I played very wrong. So right now, I actually don't want to take a lot of engagements. Sure, I can take a few engagements here and there, but I don't actually want to, like, brawl. I want to actually slow this map down. So he gets 3 captures this turn, and now he's leading. But I still have 2 comm towers. I have both of the contested comm towers. Not really sure what he's doing here. Just kind of... I think he wants to... Oh, okay. That's actually a pretty good move. Huh. I didn't see that. Yeah, that's good. Taking down my anti-air. Nice. Playing well. But I have a Max Blast ready. Or close to ready, and his power is barely there. So even though he's leading heavily in unit count right now, he's leading heavily in unit count, and he even has a slight income advantage, he's in a really bad spot right now just because of my CO power. And again, now you're gonna see like what I'm doing here is I'm just continuing to. Okay, I thought I was gonna wait longer with that power, but I guess not. Never mind. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. I see why I did it now. I misremember this match. I thought, okay, never mind. Yeah, okay. I thought I sat on this power for a lot longer, but I guess I popped it pretty early. Yeah, but again, this is what I was talking about. You don't even need the Max Blast, right? When you have 3 comm towers as max, your Max Force basically becomes a Max Blast. So, yeah, I just pops Max Force, and I start going to town. And just look how much damage my units are dealing. Again, this is why you don't want to concede a comm tower to Max, because his firepower just gets disgusting to the point where you can't even wall. I completely misremember this match. I thought I sat on my power for a while and then popped a Max Blast, but no, I actually just popped the Max Force and mopped the floor with him. So he immediately resigns. So... professional streamer right here, ladies and gentlemen. So, I actually think the Professor played really well in this match. I actually think he played really well. In the opening, he had a lot of solid moves. His artillery positioning was really good. He blundered with the infantry on the comm tower, and that cost him dearly. I don't think I'd be able to make that push if I didn't have the extra comm tower. Because with that extra comm tower, I was able to one-shot his units and break through his walls. I wouldn't have done that if I had not gotten that. But at the end of the day, I think the Professor lost because he didn't recognize just how powerful Max is in mixed space maps. We had a bit of a talk after this, and I told him, like, I actually think you played better than me. I just picked a better CO than you, and you blundered your comm tower. Those 2 things lost you the match. You were actually set to win, I think. If I'd played any other CO than Max, I think even Olaf, I would have struggled here, because I wouldn't... Like, global damage is strong and all, but I wouldn't be able to, like, necessarily break through his walls in the same way, so... Yeah. No, I think he played well. He played really well. He just picked the wrong CO. At the end of the day, that is all it takes sometimes. So yeah, he's actually challenged me again. This time around, where the match is currently ongoing. We're playing Nell versus Von Bolt. I'm playing Nell, so it's a rough matchup for me. But I might cast that one too, if you guys want to see it. You probably want to see his rating, I imagine. So let's bring him up. He's actually 1166. So, actually a fairly solid player here. And he even plugged his website. You can go check it out, I guess. Anyway, thank you so much, Professor, for playing against me. It was fun. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.